Hey, what is up guys, your boy Ron here today, and today we're gonna do a review, right? We're gonna do a review of Rebellious Clash set. This is not our English set yet. Our set is called Rebel Clash, but this is the set that is a Japanese set that will be released next week. Of course, cards from this set will be in our Rebel Clash, right? But again, we still need one more set to be announced to be in our Rebel Clash, right? So again, it's an S2 Rebellious Clash from Japan. It's a Japanese half, this Japanese set, and it's a one half of our English Rebel Clash set. It's worth knowing that, because again, it kind of gets weird if you think about it. Like set here and here. So I'm gonna move, like my face is gonna move over here, and we're gonna have, of course, the whole screen. Again, thank you so much, PokeBeach, for posting and to everyone who translated the cards. We're going to use that website, right? So pokebeach.com, that's what we're going to use. Not sponsored, but if you want to, PokeBeach. And let's just move on, right? So I'm going to go and you will see, bam, me right here. We are on the pokebeach.com, and let's take a look what we're gonna have. I'm just gonna move this a little bit. There we go. So I know like certain cards are gonna be behind me, like behind this. So I'm gonna try not to obstruct any view with the camera. So let's. This is how the set looks like. Those are all the cards from the set, and we're gonna review all of them, right? We're gonna review all of them because they are below with translations. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So first things first, of course, we got Rebellious Clash. First card, and it is a beautiful, a gorgeous looking Scyther. So let's take a look at a Scyther. It's a basic Pokemon, 80 HP, Soul Dance for 1 color less. During your next turn, this base damage, the base damage of this Pokemon is increased by 70, so he has to attack 2 turns, but he's a basic, so definitely not bad for a grass type dex. 150 turn 2, I'm not gonna say no, but again, you have to go second and you have to be able to attack, so that might be a bit of tricky to do. Then we got a Heracross. We got a beautiful Heracross right over here, and let's take a look. We got a Heracross push down, 30 damage. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their benched Pokemon. Alright, definitely not that interesting of an attack. Let's move on. We got a Lotad. So again, if we're gonna have like evolution Pokemon, so I'm gonna focus more on their evolutions a bit, because their evolutions are a bit more important, and Pokemon that do have abilities. So Lotad, I'm not gonna focus on him, but we do have Lombre, and he has the ability right over here, which is called Top Entry. That's how he looks like. Weird card. And the Top Entry ability says if you draw this card from your deck at the beginning of your turn, and there is room on your bench, instead of putting it into your hand, you may play it onto your bench. So with cards like Macargo or with Oranguru, the new Oranguru, you can actually make it on top, so you kind of skip the basic evolution. Really cool. And his attack is 1 grass, 2 colorless. It's Fury Swipes 40 times and you flip 3 coins. Quite cool attack. But let's go to Ludicolo. Is it worth it to actually play that card? Is Ludicolo worth it? Let's take a look. That's Ludicolo. Energized Rush, 60 times damage. This deck does 60 damage for each prize card you've taken. Okay, quite interesting. We've seen cards like that in the past. We will have this new DCE, so it might be quite interesting. And the Mega Drain, 120 damage, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Okay, not that bad. It's not the best, not the worst as well. We got a Surge Kit, Agility. We know Agility, you just flip a coin, nothing can happen. That's how he looks like. We've got Masquerain, but let's take a look at Phantom. Phantom over here, beautiful looking. I mean, this is a beautiful looking art. Dark Guidance, choose a basic Pokemon from your discard pile and play it onto your bench. That is really interesting card to play due to this nature. And it's okay, it says basic, so it's a nice way of bringing the basics, especially if you go second, and you can just keep on discarding. So this literally gives you like way of playing quick ball, discarding a card that you didn't, Pokemon basic that you didn't want to put now on the bench. Oh, it's weird. Let's move on. Trevenant, Seed Bomb, of course. Let's take a look at Trevenant. Oh, that is a beautiful art. So you got a Trevenant, Seed Bomb, 40 damage, and Shadow Cage, 120 damage. Defending Pokemon can retreat. So now we're moving to the first V card of the set, which is Eldegoss V. Okay, looks, as a V card, it looks okay. With ability, Happy March. Once during your turn, When you play this card from your hand onto your bench, you may put supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. So kind of like VS Seeker, you might say, and the soar upward, 50 damage. You may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. Not a bad idea, not a bad deck, if not a bad card for Rillaboom. Definitely an interesting card to play. Situational, definitely a great idea. Then we got Flapple as of the ones with abilities. Oh, gorgeous looking Flapple. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Then shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So, again, for the Shadow Boxer, for the damage counters, not a bad idea. I would say it's a fine card. Definitely will try a deck around it. But, and again, you know, getting to him, right? You know, Evolution Incense would have to be played. But for those 2 damage counters, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I don't know if it's going to be worth it to play that. Let's go with Ninetales V. So, gorgeous looking Ninetales. Like, Ninetales, that is V, Ninetailed transformation, which is one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attack. And use it as this attack. Oh boy. This is getting really interesting. I'm sorry. This is getting really interesting. That you can choose your opponent's active Pokemon attack and use it. That is really cool. That's definitely really interesting, and this gives us a lot of strategies to do with a fire type. And a Flamethrower, 180, discard an energy from this Pokemon. Really great, really great, really cool card to play. Definitely know we'll try to build a deck around it. Magmar, my favorite. Oh, but the art, I mean, the art is just bad. Let's be honest, the art is just bad. Magmorta, I'm gonna go on Magmorta because Magmorta is gonna be a bit more important. Oh, this is a badass art. This is a badass art of a Magmorta. Love it. So Burst Punch, 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, and the Ground Burn, 80 plus. Each player discards a card from the top of their deck. This attack does 100 more damage for each energy card. So this is kind of an anti. Like an old anti that was in team decks. Let's take a look at the Chandelier over here with Protection Lamp. Each of your Pokemon that has any energy attached to it has no weakness. Alright, I mean, this is stage 2, so that might be a little bit harder to pull off. But okay, I can go with that. I can clearly go behind this Chandelier with a Hitmore, with Lick, and Flamethrower. Let's take a look. We got a Wingull, and we go and got another Meowtic. Oh, this is beautiful looking card. I mean, I haven't seen those cards before, so that's why I have those reactions. Beautiful card for water type. I mean, I don't know what it does, but oh, the art itself is mesmerizing. I can't stop watching it and looking at it. Great, great, great. So we got Aqua Impact for 1 water and 2 colorless, 10 plus damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each. Wait, for each energy. Okay, so for each retreat cost, for each energy that is needed to retreat on your opponent's side. So definitely it might work with Absol, and this might work with the brand new stadium that I've seen, and it's from this set, which is Galarian Mine, that adds to retreat cost of both active Pokemons. Really cool, and definitely a way to get knockouts quite fast. Good looking card, amazing card. We got also Hypno Slash 150, and your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep, but you're not gonna use that. You're gonna go for the first attack, because I mean, for a retreat cost and an Absol and something, you know, this can hit really hard. Let's go a bit further. Sesame Toad, so nothing really there to look at. Here we've got an ASQ, we got an ASQ. If this Pokemon HP is max, any damage done to it, Pokemon is reduced by 60. Alright, not so nice damage reduction, and that's kind of mainly it. Let's move on to a Lightning type. Let's see what we're gonna have right here in the Lightning type. We've got another Luxio with ability. If you draw this Pokemon card from your deck at the beginning of your turn, this is the Luxio by the way, at the beginning of your turn, and there's room. Okay, so this is kind of the same thing. You just draw it and you play it on the bench if you drew it. Alright, and that's 30 damage. So this, I think, is the kind of like electric type, lightning type way of getting around Obstagoon, which is not bad, but is it something that I would go for? No. And let's take a look at Luxray, so the evolution, of course, of Luxio. If this Pokemon evolved from Luxio during this turn, it does 100 more damage, 160, not bad, and a Headbolt for 120. Actually, not a bad attacks, if you can pull off Luxio. Now to the V that I know I'm gonna play, Toxtricity V and Toxtricity V Max. So Toxtricity, beautiful looking V card with a poison jab, so 20 damage and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Electric Riot, 90 plus damage, and it deals 90 more if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned. So this card works quite well with the new Garbodor that you will see in a second, and Garbodor says that you can leave your opponent's active Pokemon poisoned, which is quite cool, and that's the ability you can use from the bench. Also, we got a Toxtricity V with kind of the same principle. It's 160 damage plus, and you can, this plus is 80 damage, so it's 240 total if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned already, which is really cool. And again, a gorgeous looking VMAX, really looking great, and I can't say a bad thing about it. Really interesting card. We got a more Pico, and we go to a fairy type with Clefable over here, and I know Psych-type has a little bit more interesting cards right now. So once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, you may choose an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon and return it on the top of their deck. That might be actually a valid strategy for certain decks. Definitely an interesting way of like making sure what is going to be on your opponent's active top of the deck. Then we got a Psyglyph with a Strikes Back. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, place 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. With Spell Tag, if it gets knocked out, it's 7 damage counters. It's not bad. With a Psychic Damage, does 30 damage plus 10 damage for each damage counter on the opponent's active Pokemon. So this might be a real interesting addition to the spread decks, the Weezing spread, or to any other spread deck. Maybe, you know, even to an Obstagoon deck as a tag card. I can see that happening, especially with the Weezing. I like it. You know, I like spread, and this is definitely something I do like. We got a Sandygast, Palossand, and we got a Hatterene, gorgeous looking Hatterene. Stage 2, ability is a Mind Hat. Once during your turn, you may have each player discard 1 card from their hand. Not a bad idea. Regretful Droplets, put damage counters on your opponent active Pokemon equal to the number of Pokemon in your discard pile. Oh, this is gonna be crazy and expanded. This is gonna go crazy with Battle Compressor. I love that idea. I mean, of course you have to go for that attack first, but this can be really powerful and expanded. Let's move on. We've got a Dragapult V and Dragapult V Max. Let's take a look over here. Great looking, gorgeous looking Dragapult. So first attack is just bite. You do bite. That's it. So 30 damage. And second is Assault Jet for 2 psychic, and it's 60 plus damage. If this Pokemon was on your bench and you make an active, it deals 80 more. So kind of the same principle as the Choo-Choo, as Zapdos, right? So it can deal up to 140. Then we got a VMAX Dragapult, which is quite again gorgeous looking. Shred, that's 60 damage, and this isn't affected by anything on your opponent's active Pokemon. And Giganto Phantom, 130 damage, and you're putting 5 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokemon in any way you like. So again, for spread decks, for decks that utilize some bench damage, that is actually pretty cool card to play. And with 320 HP, not as easy to stop. Maybe the damage is not the biggest, but if you count the spell tag, if you add some nice spread, if you add Shrines of Punishment, something else, this can be a powerful card, and I like it. Definitely an interesting card, and people might start thinking about Zamazenta because of that. Let's move on to a fighting type, and we've got a Whiscash with ability. Again, like the art style is, I think it's a little bit better than in the past. So we've got, as long as Pokemon is on your bench, it takes no damage from attacks. great. You can still put the damage, but it, you know, you can't attack it straight on. We've got a Roly-Coly, Corcoil, Colossal. There we go, we got a nice Colossal over here. With the ability Tar Generator, once during your turn, you may search your discard pile for up to one fire type energy and one fighting type energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Again, stage 2, but for bringing back the energy from a discard pile, not a bad idea, and I see people definitely trying to pull this off with their decks. Then we've got a Falnix V, so another V card for the fighting type with Iron Defender. As long as this Pokemon is in play, damage done to any of your Pokemon with Phalanx in its name, but your opponent's attack is reduced by 20. So we're gonna see Phalanx decks, probably, you know, for Phalanx that's like what, 20, 40, that's 40 damage. No, that's 80 damage less, which is really cool. And Giga Impact 110, and he can't attack during his next turn. Now we're going to Coughing and Galarian Wheezing. Oh, I mean, take a look at this. This is exactly how I imagined art for Galarian Wheezing to be. Mwah, perfecto, amazing art. But let's take a look at ability, which is Chemical Change Gas. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, each of your opponent's Pokemon has no abilities. That's great, but I feel like it's too easy to actually knock it out. I tried in the past decks like Slaking now are getting rid of abilities. They worked to a certain degree, but you need something more to it. And let's take a look at the attack. It's one dark type and it's severe poison. Your opponent's Pokemon is now poisoned and you're putting 4 damage counter. So this is the card that I feel like is going to work best with a Kroganuk in the dark type deck. So nice poisoned Kroganuk deck. You've got 2 Kroganuks or 3 Kroganuks, you've got 2 Galarian Weezings, there are no abilities, nothing works, and you're just putting the poison over and over and over on your opponent. Definitely a great idea here. Let's move on. We've got, this is the Garbler I was talking about. So again, amazing dark type Pokemon, and once on your turn, if there is a stadium in play, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon poison. And of course you want to have stadiums. We've got stadiums that are working with poison, but also, you know, maybe maybe Viridian Forest, maybe you want to have Chaotic Swell, and definitely it's a great, because it doesn't say it has to be yours, so it can be your opponent's one. And we also got a Malamar V and Malamar V Max. I haven't seen that one, so let's take a look at both of those. Okay, it looks like Malamar. So let's take a look at first Malamar V. Drag off, choose one of your opponent's benched Pokemon and switch it with their active, and it does 30 damage. Alright, not bad. Brain Shake, 130 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Okay, it's interesting. Confusion is a big deal sometimes, so okay, I can see this happening. But Giganto Jammer, that's what I'm talking about. Giganto Jammer, 180 damage. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose one card you find and put it at the bottom of their deck. Really interesting card to play, and well, I can see this being in a nice dark box type of deck. We've gotten 2 actually, Cuparaja and Cuparaja VMAX right now for Metal type. So Metal type is getting some more action over here. So Adamantine, press 90 damage during our opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage, and a rack down 180 damage. Not bad for a Metal type. And let's take a look at a VMAX actually. Let's take a look how he looks like. Okay, Dangerous Nose, 100 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic, it does 100 more. Okay, there's a lot of basics, so definitely I can see that happening. Giant Hammer, 240 damage. Like, the more I'm looking at this set, the more I realize that Zamazenta might be actually quite good. Let's take a look even further. What else do we have in here that is like worth noting? Okay, so there's no more ones that are worth actually. Maybe Gradient. Alright, the art is worth it. Once on your turn, you must search your deck for a Pokemon tool card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Great. Now we're going to trainer cards, and we're going to start with what is a Scoop Up Net. So put one of your Pokemon, excluding Pokemon V GX, into your hand. Okay, so you can't put Vs, VMAXs, GXs, tag teams, but you can any other. So baby, definitely an interesting, and you don't have to play a coin, you don't have to flip a coin. So that definitely is going to be a great card for baby decks. Then we got a Nugget, a nice gold Nugget, and the Nugget says play this card. Play this card when you draw it from your deck at the start of your turn. Draw 3 cards. Again, you can actually set it up with Oranguru or with Macargo, a great setup right here. Tool Scrapper, you can discard up to 2 tools. Beautiful card, and this is gonna get played heavily. This is, definitely, some say this is a Jirachi killer. I wouldn't say so. I think the stadium is more of Jirachi killer, but definitely we've got more options right now to get around the tools, especially for decks like Pikarom or any others. Now we got Cursed Shovel. Cursed Shovel looks like a tongue to me, a little bit like a tongue. If the Pokemon this tool is attached to, it's knocked out by the damage. Your opponent's an opponent's attack. Discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. Yeah, so your opponent discards 2 top cards of their deck, and this is gonna go with mill decks. This is just card for a mill deck to put on Lily's Pokédoll and make people suffer even more. Oleana, we're gonna get Oleana, beautiful looking card. Discard 2 cards from your hand in order to play this card. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose a trainer card you find and put that at the bottom of their deck. Then we've got a Dan. We've got a trainer Dan, which says draw 2 cards, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent. If you win, draw 2 more cards, play rock, paper, scissors. That's a card. I mean, I'm kind of curious how they're gonna do it, online. I mean, no, you just click, but IRL, I just want to do this. I want to do that so bad, especially at the pre-release. It's great. And now we're going to what I think is the best card from that set, and this is Boss Orders. This is Giovanni, this is Boss Orders, and you're choosing one of your opponent's benched Pokemon and you switch them. This is literally Lysandre from Expanded. Amazing looking card. Boss Orders, Team Air, Team Rocket is back. And this is going to be played almost in every single deck. Now we go to Galarian Mine. As I said earlier, the retreat cost of each active Pokemon is actually 2 more. Now we go to the energy, so the last 3 cards of the set. We've got a Speed Lightning Energy. This card provides 1 Lightning Energy while it's attached to Pokemon, and when you attach it, you draw 2 cards. A great card actually for the Pikarom for this additional draw, and I think this card is going to get even better. And the same card, but for a Psychic type, right over here. We've got a nice Horror Psychic Energy, but this time you're putting 2 damage counters on attacking Pokemon. Right? So whenever your opponent is attacking, you put 2 damage counters right there. And of course we got a Capture Energy, so it provides 1 colorless. When attaching this card from your hand to one of your Pokemon, search your deck for a basic and put it onto your bench. So definitely this part of the set, of our English set, looks great, it looks good, and I do want to play Toxicroak, I do want to play everything that we got here, and it just is absolutely crazy to see those cards. So thank you guys so much. That was my review of the Rebellious Clash, which is going to be in our Rebel Clash set. So thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye, mwah, and good night, and let me know what do you think about those cards. What do you think are going to be the best cards from the set. Bye.